up the slack. It's also why this Wind Ranger support is so good for them. I think it's one of the few heroes Seb can just go in and set stuff up for all his cores to output the damage.
Yeah, I think they're looking for like a bit more lockdown. I think Shaman is really good just because of the matchup on the mid lane. Snapfire against the Ember Spirit. Snapfire does love to play into that, and they don't have this like instant catch. Yeah, you have Boundless Strike, Cookie, Spear. These are not reliable stuns.
What if they just cheese him like Necro or something?
Into Pugna?
Still possible.
I mean, it's a Pugna support, you know, he can't do everything nowadays.
I mean, it's Pugna, one of the highest win rate heroes throughout the tournament. I think I said 30 games, if I'm not mistaken, with over 60% win rate.
That's quite high.
66, 30 games exactly.
Yep, there's the Void Spirit. They'll go for the standard one.
So we were thinking they were going to do these spirits in the second phase, but they end up going all the way late. So many mids get banned. It's the classic Void Ember trade. Traditionally it was slightly more Ember favored, but I think it shifted a little bit. And again, this Boom draft is super well rounded. You have multiple initiators, a huge amount of team fight, AoE, percentage-based scale. I feel like OG has to execute pretty well to win these fights if all things are even.
I think Pugna is not gonna have a good time in this game. There's so many heroes that just deal well with him, and they also didn't address the egg issue. Like none of these heroes, this was the last pick Ember Spirit, and none of these heroes are gonna sit in the middle of the fight and try to hit the egg. I'm gonna say I'm heavily favoring Boom's lineup here.
Well,
no faith in the Seb shackles, huh?
He's been really impressive.
The shackles of destiny.
I mean, they can still play around it. If Amar pops off, what is he playing into?
Amar is going to play into
doesn't sound as easy. No. But there's always like lane shenanigans that you can do. But this monkey, like Jackie, as we talked about, he's been pretty solid. Like not too many mistakes being made by him throughout the tournament. And yeah, I'm putting a lot of faith in him.
All right.
To me, this will be a tough test of just how powerful CK is, because I don't think CK should be able to do as much in this position as a lot of those other games. High execution game from OG. It's what they're known for, though.
It is what they're known for sure. But it looks like Boom got a little bit of the upper hand in the draft of this first game. Let's find out how it plays out with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Chief. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OG versus Boom Esports. We've heard from the panels for their opinions. It kind of sort of sounds like they feel like with OG, a lot of it's going to be down to the execution. Boom, overall, their draft, their lineup, it's just got that solid, easy to rely on team fight. Yeah. It's a scary draft from Boom.
Yeah, they got super comfortable heroes. It feels like the CK is very addressed, even when it was already picked up. But the one thing that OG does have is a fast-paced lineup that isn't really cooldown reliant. That I can see. Boom, they double down, triple down, quadruple down on team fight. I mean, while OG's about early aggression and trying to take advantage of those cooldowns in a way. But I do think it looks like a pretty uphill battle, especially for that CK. But we shall see.
And what do you sort of think of both teams' final picks? You know, the spirits that we've ended up on either side in the mid lane.
Lately, Void Spirit's been doing really well. He's kind of on the rise in this tournament. Ember, I feel like I've been seeing less and less of him, but it's BZM. He's very comfortable on the hero, and it does match exactly what they wanted to play with, that really fast-paced. It's definitely a good hero that they need to be able to address and go into the backlines. Get on top of this snap, get on top of the Phoenix before they get their ultimates off, especially that egg. But that's another thing, right? They don't have an egg hitter because of this. You know, I know Pano was talking about the lean-up potential that could have come out if they wanted to address that, but they went for a different style. They went for Ember instead.
Absolutely, yeah. Tims could have some huge impacts with the Supernova in these team fights, and that's the thing, as you say, it's the whole sort of show that they're going to be able to bring around that Phoenix ultimate when it comes to 5-on-5s that OG, they've got to be super prepared for. If they get caught in an arena and a stun, the heroes are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think SVG had rounded it up at the end there almost perfectly. Kind of what I wanted to touch on is this will be the task of how kind of OP CK really is, right? Yeah. They picked it into some heroes that we've seen picked as a counter versus it. The Monkey can carry. We've seen a couple teams doing it. You got this Battle Fury Ags, be able to match the farm and scale versus that CK in later stages. And even into something like, these Phoenixes. The percent damage was picked afterwards, but yeah, I think they saw this all coming. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll see there with the bounty runes. Boom, they'll be able to get the favorable start. They'll take 3 of the 4 bounties as they turn up to the lanes.
Old lane, in under the tower. That's a fun matchup. Just BZM versus Yopaj. Two kind of even matchup heroes as well, too, as SVG was saying. The Ember in the past maybe had a slight advantage, but I feel like this one's always been one just a skill matchup for me.
Yeah, it's going to be very...
Yopaj is level 2 already, and he's already getting a lot of pressure onto BZM, so it's pretty significant.
There's a lot of damage. BZM, of course, he's got that first set of tangos and verifiers, so it should be okay. But it's going to be exciting to see both of these mids, what sort of impact they'll have on the game. Both BZM and Yopaj have had some pretty insane games here so far at the Major.
Yeah, I'm watching, kind of just seeing how these early laning things start out, just to see if OG is able to get ahead in the lane in particular in this game. I feel like that's something they are definitely looking for, because otherwise, you know, playing without that lack of actual ultimates, and you're playing into versus Boom's lineup, I feel like it could be really painful if they are playing from behind, fighting around those early towers. Scamby gets a good early D ward. We'll have a bit of a level advantage up top now versus Seb, since he gets that obs.
I mean, and what do you sort of make of the Timber Monkey King sort of situation when you've got them in the lane? Because clearly it was something that OG, they didn't care about, right?
Yeah.
They're still more than happy to pick the Timber for this matchup.
I mean, Amar is definitely comfortable playing into the matchup, but I think that Jackie's not upset by any means. It's not like you're going to get pressured as a Monkey King in laning phase by any means, and you will have that scaling potential, and this is their style. Boom, they really like playing this more like this carry that can get more involved early. Even if he's going to go for this Battle Fury build, we've seen Jackie in this tournament. He is so active.
Absolutely, he'll be turning up with half a Battle Fury done.
Exactly.
If he sees the opportunity to get involved and get some action going, he's not going to hesitate in joining the rest of the boys. What am I, Tiger? Tick down pretty low here.
Should be fine. He's got the fairy in the stick. Does have a salve as well, Tims. I think he used his salve onto FBC before. He's got a set of tangos coming, though. How's our regen looking? Everybody pretty lackluster on regen down here. A lot of trades going on.
Tiger will be getting some more out. Let's step up towards the two of them. Now lead him with the Rift on FBZ.
That minus armor. The Rift's just really always coming into play. -4. Pugna's right clicks really do add up, and it's like they don't want to turn and go because the Pugna ward is down too. Every spell you use does hit you back harder than you hit them. It's pretty crazy. I think that's something that a lot of people overlook early on, especially the Nether Ward base damage. Like 50 base damage plus the spell cost, you actually literally do more damage to yourself every time you cast a spell. So, as we see most of the time, Pugna, highest damage in the game just from Pugna Ward.
Over in the mid. 16
Dead even.
It is literally dead even. Yeah, no, that's how close he gets here between BZM and Yopaj when they're on their spirits.
Scam really putting it to Seb in this laning phase. He's just bullying him. I think it is pretty significant that he got the D ward too, because he had that level 2 over Seb. He's always able to win that trade. And then it puts a 1v1 of Amar versus Jackie, where you see Jackie now pulling ahead in denies, especially since he's got that Jingo to work with versus a Timber. Amar's still getting his farm though. It's not like he's getting pushed out.
See a bit more focused around the mid area for minutes.
First Taiga. He's thinking about it.
I mean, Tims wants to dive.
If he hits that spirit, it's a kill. Seb? Tried to refill the bottle. I think he made a mistake. I think he messed up. Did he pass it over too quickly?
I was going to say, I'm seeing an empty bottle here on my screen.
I think he passed it before
Tiger
it ended up getting the region. Oh.
There's first blood, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom lane, Tiger and Tims, they've really been going at it with each other. But at the end of it all, Tiger will be the victor for now.
330 movement speed. You know, the Phoenix, he got the dive in, but when you look at Phoenix, 280 move speed. Oh, Tiger was able to get in range quite easily. Now we'll see the TP mid. Since Tims did die, he's going to look to refill Yopaj's bottle. And he will actually refill it.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because of that situation with BZM.
He has to go to base.
He's got to walk back to base.
Yeah, that's a bit painful.
That actually hurts there. So, I mean, what you said, what do you reckon happened? Just the pass over was happening too slow after the TP in?
I think he waited. I think he passed it to the mid laner too fast. So what happens if you TP from base and they pass you the bottle, you have to give it a second so that it fills, because you still have that fountain on you. I think he gave it to the Ember before that it actually refilled on top of him. So it happens. I think that's what I think I saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those rare situations where being really good at the game and really fast with your actions actually work against you. You know, if Seb was a few thousand MMR lower, he probably would have been able to fill that bottle with lots of the boomer reactions that people like me have.
Yopaj is 6 now too, so trying to take advantage of this. They're blipping the wave, going for the kill on
They're
BZM.
gonna see if they get the setup here. Remnant into the cookie, but BZM slightly fist dodge to simulate damage, not enough to bring down BZM. TV's coming in. Yopaj and Skem, they've got to back off. Seb, few right clicks, he needs another. Oh, the pulse sits up in time, protecting him for those final few right clicks. Tiger tries to reach in to get that last hit off BZM. He'll still get the job done. Jumps in with the remnants. OG, they get the kill on Yopaj.
3v3 in the mid lane, right around this power rune too. Who's gonna get it? It's gonna spawn top. BZM comes out ahead now after all this. Crazy how that ends up happening when they go for the aggressive play and Boom can't actually finish him off.
Easy courier here for Jackie. I mean, there's definitely going to be some sort of concern here for OG. The fact that there is this Monkey King in the safe lane, getting perfect farm. You know, Jackie, he's going to be on track to have an insane Battle Fury timing this game if they don't start putting some pressure on towards him.
They can though. Amar almost level 6. That's when they can definitely look at this bottom. Tims.
He finally gets his revenge. But he should die for this one, Yuragi.
He's got a rift.
Tims making him work for it. Nah, but he still goes down. Yuragi also used the courier to tease around with the Phoenix.
Now they're trying to look to actually set up for Amar. Jackie, level 3 Jingu.
I don't know if he's trying to damage the tip. Oh, turn for Seb instead. Easy boundless strike there for Jackie. Sets up for Skem to jump in.
A big hit.
Slam down here on the head of Seb. Takes him out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Coming out slightly ahead in the lanes as I think we expected a bit here for Boom with the way that they set up, especially that Monkey King versus the Timber. Bottom though.
Gonna try and make a bit of a move onto FBZ, but Tims, he's around. So Yuragi and Tiger can't go as aggressive as they'd hoped for. So Yopaj, he's ready to dive. They've got the arena down, trapping Yuragi. They've got the spear connection as well into the Remnant. There's nowhere for the CK to go as he's completely controlled by Boom.
And it's a really good rotation. They still have the catapult alive. So this is going to put pressure onto this bottom tower. They also have Scam soaking mid. This is an excellent move from Boom right now. How's OG going to respond?
Seb continues to sit top to try and harass Jackie's Monkey King, but as I say, Jackie doesn't care at all.
I don't know if they can defend this. I mean, they're pinging it at the moment, but Amar is kind of low on resources. They might have to bring the Ember and the CK. Let's see. CK's coming down. Starting to de-push a little bit with Taiga. Okay, they'll be able to push him away.
Back over in the mid.
Scam.
BZM was trying to take Skem out, but Yopaj, he's got Skem covered. The Sleight of Fist won't quite catch Skem. Even if it did, there was only the second level, so it wouldn't have killed him. A good move from Yopaj, keeping his support safe.
He moved back mid very quickly, making sure that he gets the power rune instead of continuing to play around bottom. I should think I like that move quite a lot. They could have maybe fully pushed and taken the tier 1 bottom, but I think he really wanted to make sure that Skem doesn't die and that he takes over the mid. Cool move.
Amar just pinging the top tier 1. He's back to being on his own up here though.
It's under attack.
He's hit the 6. Wants to get aggressive onto Jackie, but Skem's here to help Jackie out. Amar can't do this on his own.
Only has 2 points in the reactive right now too. They go for the 3 points in Timber Chain just to be able to get away from the Monkey King easier. Does make him a bit squishier. They are starting to ping him. It looks like Jackie wants to maybe set up for this.
And he's gonna have the backup of Seb, Amar.
BZM starting to steal some stacks, but he spotted Yopaj.
Is under attack.
Seems to know this is up. 3v3 up top again now.
So who's gonna commit first? Yeah, BZM. He's gonna opt out of this area.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And they will finish off that bottom tower in the meantime. FBZ.
Yopaj clearing the stacks, finding himself a nice Fairy's Trinket. Still ready to hover around this top area, Scam.
Oh.
Doesn't help there from the Centaur.
That may have maybe saved his life.
It's gonna allow him to live long enough to get the cookie off. The power shot missed, so Scam is able to walk away. Scam is in with the shackle. They're gonna try and burst through Jackie. Get the Wukong's command on him. The Kiwi Mastery comes from him. He cannot lifesteal enough against these three as they bring down the Monkey King finally.
Great rotation coming in, BZM. Just sneaking up there. I don't think they expected it. Playing pretty risky, right? The execution at its finest, as I think SPG was saying. Like, execution is going to be a big thing to watch for OG when it feels like they are playing into this really tough draft.
Yeah, they needed that kill. They have to try and slow down Jackie somehow, as he was having such a free start in that top lane.
And they're starting out to get their own tower damage, which can be pretty significant this game because they are a bit lacking on that tower damage. They do have Pugna, but as we've said multiple times now, you know, that 5 Pugna is very different.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
See Jackie, just gonna look for the setup. They battle it straight to the pullback of the Remnant. They catch BZM.
What a chain stun.
A very quick jump there from Boom that BZM, he just was not ready for at all.
FBZ's getting the time of his life in the bottom lane now. Mars uncontested, gonna have a very early blink dagger. Also, phase boots finished up top of the board.
Dire's
And a
top
brilliant
tower
game for the
is under
Mars, you know,
attack.
they mentioned with the draft. He gets in with these blink arenas, and the team fight is going to be incredibly difficult for OG to fight back against. Mid.
I got
Aggressive on Tiger, but not enough burst, and steps in with the TP, so Yopaj has to pull back. Same to be said here for Tims. He's already used the dive, though. Doesn't matter, he can still walk out of this, and TPs are coming in.
the pesky Nether Ward. They can't forget about that damage reduction.
FBC is maybe seeing if he can get an arena opportunity here. The Remnant is going to grab the Pugna. They get the pull back, and straight away with the burst, FBC can take down Tiger. As Monsters in, drops down an arena, takes the kill, and walks out.
Continuing to play very aggressive on the side of Boom, but not really pulling too much ahead, though. It's still a very even game.
Obviously, BZM is trying to get FBZ in return. Skem's got him covered, feeds him a cookie, and he's on his way out to safety.
Rallying the forces around the tower. OG making sure they do not lose that one here. Now we're seeing some stacks going on. I believe also OG stacking their own. Ancients now tripled.
Dire's
Good
middle
rune here for
tower is
BZM.
under attack.
PD for the next fight
That could be a game changer.
is one of those explosive ones in particular for an Ember Spirit.
I feel like they're trying to go for this play bottom, but it's under vision. OG sees it coming. BZM, as we said, DD's in the bottle.
That's going to get jumped upon. What BZM can do with the DD. He's already lost that. There's the slide fist hits coming in hard, and FBC tries to run. But enough mana's there for BZM to jump in with a Remnant and take the kill on the Mars.
That's a lot of gold.
Back over in the mid, Tiger. He's met a bit of a nasty surprise here, trying to stand his ground against Jackie. And it's not going to happen, especially when the backup. And Tims is right by the Monkey King. Down bottom, BZM, he's still trying for Yopaj.
I love this battle.
But Yopaj, he's got backup. Skems in with the cookie. They put the Remnant. BZM gets baited in by Yopaj. And TP in, and boom. It's just sort of these little interactions, these sort of responses and support moves that in those sort of situations where OG's cores are going for the kills, they're getting outplayed by the reaction of Boom.
Scam is so high level now. Level 8 on the 5-position Snapfire after some of these kills.
And I feel we're 13 minutes in, but Scam is... I've sort of lost count at the times that he's actually been able to catch BZM with these cookie plays. These cookies, and he's always on top of the Ember Spirit.
BZM has to watch how hard he overplays his hand there. Just getting chain stunned a few times now that we've seen. And this is, I think it's pretty impactful that this Snapfire is having such a good game so early on in the levels. A 5-position snap in this game versus the Pugna Ward. If he gets levels, he'll have Littles try to deal with it. He has the Kisses that's going to be really good versus the CK as well as that Timber saw early on. They're going to get aggressive with this. I think this is the right move.
Yeah, they've got the ultimates. This is, you know, the combo. You know, we've seen sort of kills here and there, yet to have a fully fledged team fight now. It's absolutely time for Boom to look to bring it towards OG. BZM, that was close there. Quite get in with the Remnants, so BZM's going to be okay. In fact, maybe looking at going back in on this.
The Pugna Ward is down.
OG's going to try and lead in towards FBZ. FBZ trying to stand his ground, but Amar's got the control. Quick cookie to the side to try and break FBZ away from the team. He turns, gets the spear off. They have the kisses as well. Amar, he's in trouble. He's knocked down by the ground. He's trying to get the catch on Seb as well. Seb cannot run from this. Yopaj finishes him off with a dissimulate. Boom. They went looking for a fight. OG, they see them coming. And then they sort of decide that maybe we could take this back ourselves. They run back at Boom, but it all ends up working out for Boom perfectly.
The second that Boom gets out of range of that Nether Ward, they commit for the fight. Like, look at this. OG, I think they overextend just a tiny bit, and Boom's like, guys, we have like 5 different team fight heroes. Look at their draft. We can just full commit onto this Timber. There's nothing that OG can do to respond.
And again, Scam, great Snapfire play. As soon as he realizes the turnaround is going to be happening, he gets those kisses going. He knows the team's going to have to lock down.
OG just has to be very careful about how they play versus this team fight lineup. They have to play around the Nether Ward. If they distance themselves from Nether Ward, Boom will just take the fight on top of it.
We'll see immediately Boom continue to keep the pressure up. The 3 of them smoked up and ready to go. They're looking for Yagi.
It's an arcane rune too.
So they can burst through this CK. The setup to start things off. Remnant into the cookie. keeping him locked down and no chance of turning with a stun already. See the jump from BZM, the supernova's out. Gotta be a little careful because they're not going to be able to take down the egg here, OG. Young Patch, he's able to run. The supernova's done a hold back. Skem finally gets taken out by the sleight of fist. So OG, they find something in return there. They take out Skem. He's a valuable kill, but still not quite the core maybe that they would have hoped to get in return for losing their carry.
They're going for more. Yopaj, he's still hanging around. Seb.
He's been found. Into the remnant step. There's going to be a spear to the tree, no chance for him. As Jackie claims the kill, an easy boundless strike from the side. They're happy, the carry's happy.
This game is constant aggression. 16 minutes and 19 kills already.
I mean,
Arun.
Swing around the river there. This is going to try and grab it here. OG, try and punish him for this, but the arena's down. Yuragi wants to get in a dangerous spot. Put the phantom, turns to FBZ, pulls it back to the back. The kiss is against Skem. Immediately ready with the follow-up ultimate. And Yuragi dies at the front of the fight.
They just can layer their spells so often. They have so much team fight that we see like an egg up top. They commit 2 different team fight spells, and then they have another 2 or 3 team fight spells for this bottom fight.
The ultimates are just deadly here from Boom.
Especially onto Yuragi. That's twice now back-to-back that he gets brought down. As we said, it can definitely look to be a tough CK game. He's top of the farm, but seeing him now twice back-to-back, not easy for him to commit into a fight.
And just the speed and realization from Boom when they can turn and commit back with the ult. Usually Skem gets into position, and as soon as he knows that Jackie's got the stun to go, the kisses are coming in, and Yuragi doesn't stand a chance.
They're even hunting again, looking for Amar, but he distances himself. I thought Tims was gonna get the shard right away. I actually was looking at the Phoenix. I was checking to see if in that fight if he had it. He looks like he's going for a BKB early. A bit interesting. I thought he just would immediately rush shard on Phoenix. This game looks so good.
If you get in the mid, on FBZ. Surely he's dead this time. Indeed he is. They'll be able to burst through the Mars. They'll look for more. Jump in towards Skem. Skem's away. OG, they'll settle for the tower. On top of taking down FBZ.
Again, 13-8, but still seeing OG. Even though we're talking about all these big team fight ults and everything, they're still keeping themselves up in the gold.
Yuragi's got his next time, really, when he has the BKB and the armlet. Then, of course, these sort of team fight ultimates that have been threatening him up to this point, he won't need to worry about at all.
He'll still have to worry about Jackie, because he is pretty huge on this Monkey King, also fighting Brigand's Blade. The Battle Fury's done, so his speed of farm is going to increase that much faster than the CK now at this point. And going straight for BKB, so wanting to just completely commit into the fight.
I mean, he wants to fight.
Yeah, it's not about greed, as we said, Jackie. He did have, I think he had the XQ for a second, but no, he wants to fight.
Yeah, both teams want to fight. This game, it's very clear to see 8-13, 18 minutes in, less than 1k gold in it at the moment.
Another power rune for Yopaj, a haste.
He's going to try and cool step here in the mid.
Just clearing out the wave. Skem, he's spotted in the back lines.
They're going to try and jump in. See if they can get rid of the snap fire. They'll catch him. A great catch here for OG. We've seen how much of a nuisance Skem's been in these drawn-out team fights. They can get rid of the snap fire. They know that they can try and push, get aggressive. Maybe look for something else, and here we have it. Smoke up straight away. There's no threat at the kisses. They want to look for a team fight, OG.
Dire are scanning.
Boom prepared on this high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Swinging FBZ over too. It seems like they know this is coming. 4 seconds till Skem.
Dire's middle tower is under
Boom
attack.
indeed, making sure they're not quite caught here whilst they're down 4 versus 5. Skem's back in play.
They don't want to. I mean, they were set up in that area if they got like them walking into them up to the high ground, but fighting in that area right now doesn't really gain them much. So I think that backing up, finishing up these items, in particular Jackie's BKB, is the right call. As very close to it. 300 gold till BKB's done on him. And it's gonna be pretty similar timing. Yeah, him and Yuragi.
Now the Boom's got the full team back in. They're ready to collapse once more towards this mid lane. OG, they're prepared. You know, they're fully aware of exactly how Boom's trying to play.
Got to be careful how far they overcommit to. Do see that Seb, he's got the Gale Force. Just want to point out they got Philosopher's Stone on Seb. Also on the other side, Boom, they do have Philosopher's Stone. So these 4 positions, we will see them continue to grow during these passive moments. Playing around power runes continuously. Boom, immediately dashing toward bottom.
Dire's
Not the best one.
Radiant are scanning.
They do have vision of Jackie right now farming in the jungle on the side of OG. And we'll catch a scan on bottom. Both teams just reading the plays.
And they've calmed things down. They're avoiding one another. And really it's sort of just this period where, as you say, they're waiting for that next round of big items for their cores.
They both do have the BKB though, so I think both teams could look for the engagement here.
He's got the catch. The Gale is going to start blowing Boom back towards their side of the river, so it's hard to pull up on that and go for Tiger.
The Nether Ward got placed. I think they try to kill him before it gets placed, but boom, it gets dropped down and they have to back away. Can't fight into that. And we do see, of course, looking at the Pugna, a very traditional build that I think we're getting used to seeing. The damage reduction, the Wraith Pact. Taiga is rushing it on this Pugna. So yeah, they have Pugna Vlad, something that we're getting used to seeing. It's something that's kind of strange, but makes a lot of sense. This damage reduction feels like it is going to be something that could counteract that, right? We are talking so much about how the CK, he's countered by all these big spells, the percent damage and everything that Boom has gone for. This could just be what actually turns the tide to allow that CK to fight through it all.
Absolutely, especially when you add sort of the pipe as well into the equation that Seb's going to try and build up for the team.
Oh, pipe? Okay, cool. That's a bit interesting.
So you're sort of just on top of that, or you're blocking damage, you're reducing damage for the team, for your CK. Make it a little bit harder for Boom to blow up the heroes in the explosive team fight combo they have.
I've seen Scam get a ton of D wards this game too, but I've still seen that OG has had good vision, which is a bit surprising, even though I've seen so many of them done. Power shot to Scout. Seb, he seems to know something's up.
Piece continuing here.
It does.
Jackie. BKB done and towards the Ags next. Same for Yuragi. BKB complete and he's looking for that Blink Dagger.
Ah, and a cool one. He's adapting a little bit. We've seen the Bloodthorn build in the past a couple times on CK. He's got the Mage Slayer done. So since he's playing into Void Spirit and again, damage manipulation.
I mean,
right? Just keep reducing the damage somehow. We're gonna have a Wraith Pact, a Pugna Ward, a Mage Slayer. I mean, somebody do the maths on that. Once you've added it all together, it's still the numbers sort of imply that Boom's just gonna be hurting themselves with their spells. It's gonna be turned around that much with all these reductions coming into play. It's going to be pretty impactful versus the Void Spirit. I think it's going to be tough at least for him to get it ever onto like a Phoenix in particular, because this Phoenix will be in the backline. But yeah, really cool pickup. And it just gives him magic resistance too. It's something else we can't just write off. It's not just about the spell damage reduction. He's going to just have that increased magic resist too. Yeah,
and that's the question actually. Can you Mage Slayer passive debuff the egg and reduce the amount of burn damage it's kicking out?
I do not believe so.
I don't think it'd be effective. You wouldn't imagine that. You never know.
Smoked up.
Thank you.
Still no shard picked up on Tim's. I'm really surprised that he's just really committing for this BKB. The
Radiant's
shard tends to be something we do see picked up a
attack.
lot now, especially. The slow just is amazing, really. And since, as we've said multiple times, them killing the egg can still be problematic, so that Sunray could be huge during it. Yeah, we'll see. Boom.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Smoke's gonna get dispelled here. Stabbing Yuragi. Towards the river. Not interested in making the jump themselves. For OG, they want to be much more responsive.
Boom just feels awkward because they haven't taken out that mid tower yet. They can't actually make the moves that I think their lineup would have been wanting to do in fighting in these areas, getting more vision with the Monkey King jumping along. But yeah, this tier 1 tower mid is just really causing them not to be able to really pressure OG much. And we're seeing OG, they're farming really well. All 3 cores.
The biggest sort of difference really between Amar and FBZ when it comes to the offlaner farm. As FBZ has a Mars, really wanted to rely on getting more action done with that Blink Dagger pickup, but OG for the last 5 minutes or so at least, they've just not been allowing Boom to catch them by surprise.
And they're running. I feel like I'm just seeing 3-4 heroes running together constantly. And now, boom. All right. I keep saying boom, something exciting. I shouldn't be doing that, but Wraith Pact is done for Taiga. So this is, as we're saying, this could be their timing. Just reduce all that damage, and then the CK just might not be killable. Same for Timber.
Well, we'll have to see indeed if with all this coming into an equation, if Boom's ults really don't do that much damage at all. Scam. Goodbye.
That was close. Shard now picked up for Scam. So another really strong shard versus the CK, just because even if he has BKB, you can deal with Phantasm, more chain stun too.
This is it's going to be quite a nice pick up taking this tier 2 tower. This tier 2 tower is going to get on with the next push. OG indeed ignoring that. Opting to try towards the Roshan.
This is a really nice sneaky move from them. Like Boom's like, wait, what's going
I
on?
was going to say, Boom's got to realize that they're off the map.
Yeah, nobody's throwing mid.
Yeah. And you're arguing.
They get
Is it the gun? They're going to jump stone straight away onto Yopash. He was not ready for that one.
Cookie's still on cooldown. Haven't used it before. Didn't have anything to save him, and now that is the Rosh.
And with Yopash gone, it's not likely the Boom's going to be able to try and fight OG around this. Very, very quick move there as Yopash, he wasn't ready at all.
That lane completely caught them off guard from Iragi. Yep. He did just get it, so. That's a painful one.
I'll see it again. The quick jump.
It was fast. It was right on top of him, so didn't really have too much time to react.
Of course, Dissimilate itself was on cooldown, and that sometimes can be sort of the go-to responsive spell to try and dodge that sort of jump.
Yeah, it was both. They didn't have Cookie, they didn't have Dissimilate, so yeah, just it caught them off guard completely. They did get the mid tower out of it, and as you mentioned, bottom almost taken out from Jackie. And
Try so they can get the kill on Step.
Radiant structures are
got the
fortified.
hood, he's tanky.
FPC's in from the side with the rebuke and the spear. They get the kill. OG, of course, they'll try and take this fight underneath the tier 2 tower. Jackie pops the BKB, the Wukon's command. Jiragi is in going straight towards him. He's into the trees, and he's off for the escape now. They lost Tim's, and they lose FPC off the back of trying for that tier 2 tower boom.
And now Yuragi's got that big timing that we always mention for CK. He's already level 20. So the BKBs that are out for the Mars, the BKB that's out for the Monkey King, he's going to just be able to commit right through these heroes pretty
Radiant's
easily.
middle tower
Yeah, that's
is under
massive.
attack.
And you can sort of see that, again, the continued trajectory for the farm of the cores in this game. I think from Boom's side of things, it's really going to rest rather heavily on Jackie's shoulders to be able to carry as this Monkey King on his own, really. As the other cores, you know, the Void Spirit, Mars, just in terms of the concept of the heroes, they're unlikely to really ever catch up to the farm that OG's cores are getting in this style of game.
No, absolutely. And it feels like OG, they're kind of like throwing these supports out in front of Boom. And Boom's, a couple of these times, have gone for the kills, and it's really hurt them. Like, even though they get Savage, that is a pretty huge win for OG. It's happened a couple times, even like Taiga getting caught when it looks like out of position. Yeah, it feels like OG's kind of just like, you know, putting the lure out there for Boom to take.
So looking to set up around the mid. They're looking at Uragi, but 3 minutes left on the Aegis still. Very hard hero to commit on.
He's tanky now, too. He's got the Titan Sliver built on top of that Mage Slayer. And look at his magic resist. 49% magic resist on the CK.
That's a lot. Oh, try and get the jump in. Spear off the mark. FBC's not able to send him back towards the rest of the team. Opens the match again. The Dragon's trying to cause Scav. Steve Tim's coming in with the stun, but he get the Wukon's command up, and they will be able to take Uragi down once, and BZM couldn't get out at the opportune time. They've lost the Ember. Uragi's respawned, but he's straight back into a Remnant that Yopash has prepared as Boom. They'll take this team fight despite the Aegis on the CK, and they're not done yet. They'll move over towards Taiga taken down. Zamar is going to look to try and find some sort of trade here for his team, but he can't quite finish off Scam. FBC's got the spear back up. Pins Zamar in towards the wall. Amar will opt for the TP out. They've got anything to put a stop to it. They do. Boundless strike back up and ready. Jackie puts a stop to Amar's escape. As Boom, they get the team fight they were hunting for. And in a sort of situation that was not easy to do. That was into the Aegis that Uragi was carrying, but OG, they just couldn't save or protect their CK.
They got everything, just every single one of those team fight ults. Now this time they did connect. It did look like a good move from Seb to kind of start the fight off, but quickly ended disaster. BZM low mana also just gets annihilated. I think he died almost instantly there.
I was gonna, that physical damage cut him down in a second there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I think he sort of overestimated how long he was gonna be able to keep himself alive with that BKB, that magic immunity. BZM just gets destroyed. Back over in the mid, Skep. He's actually going to be able to get the cookie off in time. Popping the BKB, he really wanted Skep, but he's going to be off the mark with a flying fist. Skep, he'll walk off into the sunset.
As Jackie continues to grow. That was a huge moment, really, for Boom to just really start getting control of this game back again.
Massive fight.
Radiant
Tim's almost has Shard. They have a Scotty soon finished up on Jackie. Everyone kind of just finished up one of those big items, and that OG really has to be careful. It still is this humongous team fight that Boom does have.
And back on with the next play here, Boom. I'm going to catch the button. Uri's going to jump in. He's looking towards Scam. Scam will cookie off to the side. FBC's going to opt to BKB TP out of this, Boom. They want to cut their losses on this fight.
Every time they go for the supports, it feels like they lose the fight. Taiga's still alive. He got the Nether Ward down. He got the Wraith Pack down.
Oh, damn. Gotta be careful there. Did walk past the Aghanim's Monkey King illusions.
Crazy game. Back and forth. Jackie. We'll get the jump away.
He's got to be a little careful playing around. Sadly, he's got a few ways to cut him down, but he's up across the trees, and Jackie should... Yeah, he's very close to having his next item done. Turn up 1,000 gold, and that Skadi will be complete.
He is continuing to be huge, and it is eyes on him for being that true carry versus the CK as he continues to lead the board.
Yeah, I mean, that was really sort of the big damage coming out in that last team fight. It was when OG try and commit for kills, and somehow, you know, suddenly they find themselves in the midst of a Wukong's command. That's when they know they're in a bit of a bad spot, and Jackie is going to take them down one by one.
Overwhelming damage, really, for Boom when they get everything. Every one of their ults off.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Being respected here by Amar as well with his build, picking up the BKB to make sure that he's not going to get trapped anywhere.
I think just to stop these chain stun too, we've been seeing Boom so many times in this game that they are able to hold down these targets really easily, even the elusive ones like Amar. Boom.
Radiant's top
aggressive
tower
again.
is under attack.
And we're seeing Scam, of course, also going to be going for a Wraith Pact, which I think we're going to be seeing every game in this tournament very quickly.
Structures are fortified.
If we haven't already.
Boom. Now look for these
Radiant's
towers.
top tower is under attack.
Still, again, the gold so incredibly close overall. Look at the jump. He's
a champ too. They just picked it up for him and he gets...
Radiant's
I mean, they saw sort of them hitting the tower, but obviously they didn't have any vision around here. BZM, I guess he just didn't expect there was going to be more than Scam in the neighborhood.
FBZ was just perfectly positioned, either smoke or invis on the side there. He just jumped in and caught him. He caught a glimpse of him.
That's not mad. As you said, with the gem changing hands there as well.
I think they just picked
oh no.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
A quick catch, and once he's caught in that opening stun, as we say, Boom's got so much follow. And then they straight down mid. Look at the stun. That's going to wreck some. BZM does have buyback. We'll see if he's going to continue using it. Time to go down. Now BZM will buy back for this one. But Seth also caught in the arena, goes down. Boom. They'll take the mid-racks. OG, they're going to be able to place him on top of this. The burst through again. Bar. Come through to the side. OG, they'll focus the egg. They'll take it out. They get more kills. They also find themselves FBZ. Towards Jackie. What can he do on his own here? He's into the trees. Then we have to Primal Spring pretty far away. The stun, of course, will eventually connect. Well, the longest Chaos Bolt you'll ever see.
And he will get away. Buyback from BZM and buyback from Taiga.
And they still lost the melee racks in the mid, so Boom, they got what they came for.
Where's the gem? Looks like it's in the mid. Oh, I guess I forgot. It's in right around the mid lane. Yeah, right there. I see couriers flying out for it.
I was going to say,
Dire, yeah. Boom's like, yo, they know where that gem is. I mean, OG didn't see it.
Yeah, it looks like Tim's at least is definitely sending it out towards that area.
Oh, it's been pinged. Seb just walked right past.
No, he didn't see it.
I know, he's not looking.
Oh no, he's going to see it now.
Maybe?
He's seen it.
He sees it.
He's seen it.
He did get it back. He's like, oh, thank you. Didn't get the base ward. Didn't get to see that one quite yet. But to get themselves on the map, looking for something while the Mars is still dead. 50 seconds on Supernova 2, so OG perhaps looking to try something here. A bit risky still, because BZM did have to use the buyback before. But trying to at least get some aggressive vision down since they have a moment. And they will also get time to claim themselves an Arcane Rune. So maybe another thing that could perhaps change the tide of the next fight. Still seeing it, it can be hard once Boom is able to actually get off their ultimates. So it can be hard for OG to fight back. And Boom smoking. They want this fight. Jackie near 25.
I mean, this is the thing as well. BZM's just TP'd back to base. He laid down a remnant. I wonder if Boom's going to be able to find that remnant before he heads back over.
Dire's middle tower.
He has finished up the whole Aghanims and that Arcane Room. So it should be a really strong Ember if he doesn't die right away.
Jump was a mom. They catch him in the remnant. He has got BKBs able to get it off in time. We've got Swan down. Tim gets destroyed completely by Uragi. Jump off from FBC, but we've got BKBs up at the moment. No one's there. They'll look to lock down Uragi. His BKB coming to an end as he's trapped in the arena. Into the wall by the spear. They bring down the CK. Jackie trying to stand his ground. BZM to the side. Joe Bash is controlling him here with the silence into yours. BZM has got anything else to jump forward with or try and turn with the slight chains. Jackie opts to heal up off the creeps.
That vision they just placed, literally just from them smoking out, or moving out at least with the Wind Ranger and getting the vision up, is what allowed them to get jumps.
He's in the blink jump. Shackles there.
And another one.
There's going to be a buyback now coming out from Scam. They need to try and punish OG there for getting that big kill on the mid. And then jump for Scam. Also going to get taken out Mar with the triple.
Huge moves, and it's all around that vision. I really just being able to put those wards down before Boom was out on the map allows them to get these jumps back to back to back. Big plays.
Yeah, that blink shackle there from Seb, securing a kill on Yopaj.
Quick movement though, look at bottom. They're already on top of Mark.
BKB's still on cooldown for 7 seconds. He's got any way out of this, he has the Yules.
He's tanky.
I'm gonna need to use it just with the chain away. In fact, they might want to go back in. Seb use the Gale to blow Jackie back towards him. Jackie, BKB, and the ready, he's out of that. 21 to 22, less than 1k this game.
Super close.
Continuing to fall so close right now.
You see that Boom is riding. They're drawing around this area knowing that OG has vision up there. They have to clear out those wards. They can't fight in that area again. As Taiga walks into Rosh and it spawns immediately.
I mean, Rosh is up, yeah, and with
what,
two heroes still down on Boom.
And the BKB on Jackie cooldown for 45.
Yeah,
I think OG's got a window.
As a full hex on Amar. OG.
They still have this. They still have that deep vision. I think it's really going to be something that Boom, if they look to fight around this area.
We're going to see FBC try and take some of it down, but Seb respond immediately hit with the shackles into the Gale Force. Trying to use a cookie here to separate FBC from the jump. Amar, he's ready to commit and goes for the BKB. Big jump over for BCF. BKB's out return from Boom's cause. As Boom will step out of the side, drop down the Wukong's command here from Jackie.
That means no Wukongs for the fight around Rosh.
And they all use the BKBs, of course, as well then. So now it's very hard for Boom to get towards this pit unless they look for some sort of incredible steal from Yopaj jumping in. But at the moment, 7 BZM, they're keeping Yopaj busy onto the side. The tackle's there. Yopaj is drawing the combo. He's gone. And yeah, no buyback for him. They're focused towards the Supernova. Yuragi, is he able to finish up? He's not. The Supernova goes off successfully. Tims dives out the side. Yeah, jumps in the cookie onto Amar and Yuragi. But he hasn't got enough damage to do anything more than that. As there's 2 dead on Boom, jump forward from OG, getting the catch onto Tims, Yuragi cleaning up.
Amar just bodying, right? He's just jumping into the fight, forcing Boom to fight in that area, forcing them to use BKBs, use cooldowns in areas that they didn't want to. And then Sab getting some beautiful
These shackles are definitely getting in the head of Yopaj.
That's multiple times now they're able to get him. I think he thinks he might be like okay because he's so far, but they have such easy ways to get on top of him with that Ember Spirit Hag and Timber.
As we've seen, a successful Supernova, but really as we've seen all these sort of items and that OG's been able to pick up at this point, the combo, the ultimate combo that Boom have just doesn't hit the same as it would have done 15-20 minutes ago.
It feels like most of their damage is going to be coming out just from Jackie, and in that fight he had to TP out. As we said, BKB was still on cooldown, used the Wukongs in a bit of an awkward position, then when he got back in, couldn't really commit onto anybody. OG masterclassing the team fights around the big team fight ultimate set.
Jackie can take this down, isn't it? It's a lot of damage, but Seb was able to get the win run off. With that in mind, he's going to be fine. Seb, able to survive. Jackie's going to have to head back because
that's no Wukongs now for the fight. He went for a solo kill on the 5-position Wind Ranger, so for the push now, you won't have that. 60 seconds.
And backing a few of the ultimates. Supernova still on cooldown for 15.
Yopaj.
He's being hexed. Cookie him out to the side. Already, Yuragi was able to find the jump onto Tims. Tims might have to consider using the buyback here if they want to defend their barracks. 10 seconds until FBC's back in. Let's see it 3 down in the mid. OG towards the barracks. Will Boom be able to bring any sort of fight before the melee racks force? Jackie trying to slow him down. FBC jumps in. They're going to spray back on BZM. They're going to burst through the other. They're taking him out. BZM's gone. Cookie bomb from Amar. Reaction time with the BKB. Then thanks the monkey kick. Jackie's in trouble. They can't get him out of this. Jackie's out of the game for 100. The kiss is from Scam. They'll attempt to put him out the full, but another spear back. Again, FBC. Huge catch onto a core of OG as he catches Amar. They may have lost Jackie, but this time round the spears bang on from FBZ as it will secure them 2 core kills, push back OG and keep that mid melee racks alive.
And a beautiful buyback from Tims. As soon as they kind of overcommit on OG a little bit, he gets that connection, the egg in perfect position. But yeah, all eyes on FBZ, really. Those two spears, so super clutch. Getting their lanes back out. Still 60 seconds, no Jackie. Yaragi's still unbelievably strong. Noting out that he has 6,500 gold on this CK. So for his next
yeah,
item,
he's got a lot of money. He's got to go shopping here.
Yeah.
I mean, that money's not going to do much sitting in his bank account.
He's lacking a slot at the moment because of that Aegis. And we've seen the Arcane Blink a couple times, so maybe he wants to just wait until he can't have that slot available for the Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable, right? The strength of the Scotty, in particular, against that carry Monkey King, is going to be huge.
Yaragi, but quick, easy kill. Delete scam. Level 25 also point out on the CK done. Yes, yeah, this CK who was very addressed from many things that Boom seemed to have gone for in the draft. Yaragi still somehow finding target after target.
FPC.
Immediately TPs. 70 seconds, no BKB on the Mars.
Still 2 minutes to push with the Aegis here.
Their lanes, though, bottom and top, kind of shoved in really hard on the side of OG. And oh, Boom maybe doing something a bit unexpected. Looks like they're grouping up potentially for a smoke. With only 4 heroes.
I mean, it'd be a bit of a risk if they do it before Scam's back up. They need every bit of damage they can get. And it looks like they leave the base here. 14 seconds until the Snapfire returns. Jackie's going to start leading out on the hunt.
Oh, Tiger smoke breaks.
I mean, it's right to get it, but each of these BKBs there for Jackie. No time with Tim's. He's falling on Tim's at the end. He's not over time. He's not. Tim's goes down. Yaragi falls in return, but he has that Aegis. He's going to be back for a second round. The Wiggles come after around again. They get the finish straight away. FPZ knocks down the CK. A defensive defensive. That means they can't continue to focus Yaragi down. Over to the side. The Hex on FPZ. Jackie's been left behind. He's trapped in the middle. He's trying to life steal back up the kisses from Scam. Do the damage to take out Yaragi. Just away. Over the side. Yaragi's trying to chase down BZM. But Boom, they've lost 3. It's just down to Scam and Jopaj. And Scam, he's got to run. Comes with a quick shot over towards Steps. Jopaj did actually manage to find BZM, but the Hex is there from Amar. Amar takes him out at the end of it all. Only Scam surviving. OG, just the 2 of them, Seb and Amar.
Monkey King did 13,400 damage in that last fight, by the way. Just to point that out, because they were standing under his statues the whole time, so it's getting cleaved up and everything. But the important thing is, OG just keep finding Tims. Every single time, Yaragi's got his number. That fight could have been really problematic. If Tim survives and gets egg off there, we could have seen a completely different result.
I guess, was his BKB on cooldown?
I think he just got caught.
He just didn't get a chance to get it off.
Yeah, he just got jumped too quickly from the CK.
Yes. Middle barracks.
And that was the 2 of them, Step and Amar.
Amar is playing like a baller this game, really. The Hex in particular has paid off dividends multiple times, but just his playstyle of running in and taking every spell.
I mean, look, this last kill for Moonshot next on the Timbersaw.
Buy it for the CK, why not?
And coming up, it's Amar, he's buying it for himself.
He's got Daedalus queued up as well. Click the Timber, he's got Daedalus queued.
Hey, dude, he's going right click.
I'm not like there.
It's Amar, he's gonna want to buy, he's gonna go Moonshot Daedalus, let's go.
Committing scam.
The heal. And get oh, it's a great shackle there. Seb has caught the Timber. And that's Scam down. So they can take out Tims. Tims has got the BKB and still has that supernova, so they won't be able to commit for him.
Jackie's back too. They gotta be careful.
I mean, you said they didn't have any egg hitters. Moonshot Timbersaw wants to prove otherwise. That's the plan here from Amar. Big brain stuff.
OG, they have all 5. Scam's still dead for a bit. I want to see what he buys.
I mean, well, you don't believe
I don't.
that
No.
If you see this man buy Moonshot and use it on himself.
Yeah, we've seen his Mantha stuff, but when he builds like his Mantha and all that in the Timber, it makes sense because he's versus like a bunch of things he can disp. I mean, this is just, yeah, it's just funny. Mid lane, no Paj. They want him.
Oh. That's the BKB, the threat of any further catch getting him. They probably just want to run his step. Gale Force, blowing back FPZ. Get the Hex off onto him.
He's got the Ascendant Cap though, so that Hex lasts a lot longer, a lot less.
Just have that BKB if necessary. It won't be here. He's off in time.
DD rune in the bottle. for BZM. Almost all. Shiva's about to be finished up, so an extra component to be able to perhaps reduce Jackie's healing even more that we've seen a couple times now. Jackie was able to hold his ground with the Satanic. A little bit more of that healing reduction could just make him not be able to stand his ground as long.
I'm going to see a quick smoke move here from Boom. Are OG going to expect this
Dire's
around a
bottom
tier 2
tower
defense?
is under attack.
What can they find?
All they really need is to be able to jump and delete a hero, delete a core.
Which they can do, as we've seen. Their chain stun has been on point this game.
BZM.
So BZM shows himself for a second.
That boundless strike opening jump off for Yopack. They're not able to get the catch on the Ember Spirit.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, we nearly lost his tree there. And he was over to the side. Supernova's going to come out. BZM and Steph, they're focusing down the egg. See if they can take it in time. They can't. The Supernova's off successfully. The kids are in for the side. The Wukong's command and Arena are down, trapping Seb in. As Seb, he's going to get healed up by Tiger. He's trying to save the Wind Ranger Tiger with these heals. But Seb still falls. 1-for-1 in between the two right now. No patch for Seb. BZM trying to chase. He's also got the DD route here. These flight fists are hitting up. But FBZ's in with a spear. FBZ! He jumps in. He catches BZM. BZM again. He's getting saved. Tiger keeping BZM alive. Here he goes. Flight for death. The God's Review takes down BZM. He'll buy back. Looking to quickly return to the fight. The Remnant was down. So he's immediately back over. Triple kill as Jiragi's cleaning up Boom one by one. Boom. Committed some buybacks themselves, but with Tim's going down, he's out for 8. No buyback. Over to the side. Stem. He fought back for this. But he'll also get clean with Yopash. He's got to hide. He better not breathe. They can't find him. He pulled back as well.
The damage numbers in this fight are just insane. BZM and Yuragi just ripping target to target apart. The start of the fight was interesting too, because FBZ actually bulwark blocked 2 or 3 of the Wind Ranger hits in the initial start of the fight to allow the eggs to go off, but holy crap, that what a one fight.
You know, it didn't go great for Boom. It's looking a lot worse there.
Look at FBZ. Bulwark, that was 1 hit absorbed, 2nd hit absorbed, and that's enough to let the egg go off. This is just crazy team fights from both sides.
Yeah, and honestly, as I say, you know, in terms of the defensive plays, Tigers just sort of throwing out these decrepit fights, using the life drain. Even in the situations where they get the kills, making it that much harder, that much more focus needed from Boom to actually finish off these cores.
Yopaj, he's forced to use the BKB.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There's the push. OG. Looking for their second set of racks, and they should certainly get that at the least. 30 seconds really until Boom's going to be back up with the full team. FBZ and Jackie not wanting to use their buybacks, of course, whilst they're this low on the death timers.
Tons of gold to spend. Again, as we mentioned, OG gonna go back up and finish up all these items. An Arcane Blink now, and Yuragi, Timbersaw, as we said, not going for the Moon Shardon.
Disappointed. Disappointed, Amar.
Sensible man.
I was gonna say, this is, you know, probably Seb bin on the squad, keeping him in check, saying, Amar, no Moonshard, at least not now, not in game 1.
I mean, he definitely said something about it, though, because they had a giggle as soon as we saw it queued up as well. Boom, still looking to fight back, though, Smoke, even though they're 20k behind. Seeing in these fights, and still can be anybody's. Eyes really FBZ. Over and over again with these.
Yuragi! He's very, very deep here. The rest of the team's starting to back him up.
Tims will use the rest of his BKB to clear out the vision, and FBZ now a second set of ult. A second ult, BKB, as well as...
I'll tell you what, I feel for FBZ as well. These spears have been so fantastic. Yeah. I kind of want to see him get the shard, you know.
That is true. He wanted the bigger picture, though.
Yeah, I guess he wants to go all in for the big one and do that refresher, but a shard would definitely feel rather nice if he's able to grab that next. I mean, already he's been landing these huge spears onto these elusive cores like BZM's Ember. Being able to pin 2 at a time would be pretty powerful.
Roche going down quick. Got 4 hags on it as well.
Can they really jump this?
I mean, if Amar, that looks like a pretty nice item for Amar with all the build-up that he already has.
Oh yeah, this Roche has gone boom. FBZ don't try. He's going to try, but the Roche has already gone down. Yuragi's picked up the edges. The axe is on the ground. CFBZ was not quite able to pick out any of it up by the looks of it. Now the BKB coming to an end. FBZ can be dropping out. The arena's down. Yuragi jumps over one step. They've got the catch onto the CK. The burst for Yuragi.
He's got Aegis, he's got Cheese as well, and his BKB.
Boom themselves. They've got the Supernova from the high ground, so OG won't be able to force their way back up into Boom. They'll separate off to the side.
They've reset really nicely on OG to avoid those ults. Boom has to retreat.
And they do so. Immediately out with the TPs. This Boom will get everybody out of there.
And they got every component of the Roshan too. The Aghanims goes to the Timber, the Cheese, I believe, and the Aegis goes to the CK.
Yep.
And I can't believe they retreat out of that area, not losing anybody.
I can't believe, yeah, Boom didn't lose ball there. That was a very, very good escape from them. Pretty much all off the back of Tim's just covering that area with the high ground Supernova, making sure that OG couldn't get back in on top of them.
OG's gonna look for the fight though. Tim's, like everybody used ults on the side of Boom. Every single ult was used, even the refreshers and BKBs too. So OG, as we mentioned multiple times even earlier from the start from the draft, they're not really cooldown reliant.
Let's see what they can get done with this push. 29k ahead.
Amar's smoked in the base with this Hex, and as we said with the Aghanims, he has a massive amount of damage now too.
I mean, they might not expect a Timbersaw coming in from this angle.
Alright, look at him. He's sneaking. Oh man. I love when it pans the camera to them when they're like deep behind the base, just perfectly calm as well.
Oh, FPC. He's got to put the BKB for that one. Tries to get a jump onto Uragi. Over the side, that Hex from Lamar comes down onto Jackie. Deep red on here from BZM. He goes straight towards the back line. Does get caught out by the initial stun, but now the BKB is there for BZM. He'll continue to chase back, but push the back towards the fountain. FPC has been caught. The Mabuko's commands down. So OG's got to be careful how they commit into this.
They're just playing outside of it. They're just taking out the rack slowly.
Got the kiss here, Seb. Then he's got the shackle on one of the two guards. He's caught Jackie and he's caught Yosai. Jackie in trouble. Jackie goes down.
So many of these, so many times we've seen double shackles from Seb in these fights. This is craziest. On to tier 4.
They've got a buyback from Jackie, but there's no buyback available on FPZ. The tier 4's going down.
No Wukongs.
They can exposed. They got any further fight to have yet. He's going to get dragged back by Uragi. Skem goes down. Boom. Held in the fountain as OG. They'll look to close this game one up. They're on towards the ancient. They'll let Amar deal with Boom around the fountain. GG is called. OG will take this game one.
Alright, holy crap. What a game one. We're in for a treat for this series if that's just game one, really. Just team fights after team fights after team.